Peace, wholeness, and divine blessings. I am Moon Goddess Ambrosia, the Fifth Force Oracle, and I am here to share the cosmic oracle reading of evolution for us as a collective. And so I am definitely thankful, as always, to share these oracle readings as we are gathering together through a uh, mission that we all share, which is for us to grow and create and serve our divine mission together here in this plane. And so much love and gratitude to High Priestess Mayat, Neb Taharka, Baba Wanik, the priesthood, Brother Aqil, and of course, all of you that are tapping in and really being a part of this journey with us. And so I am looking forward to sharing the cosmic reading for today. So let's go ahead and prepare ourselves by entering the mindset of a synchronite. This heptad, I would love to encourage us to focus on the first line, which is us being living expressions of divine synergy in motion. And so this is talking about us embodying our destiny oracle, really bringing our multidimensional self all together so that we can truly show up in that frequency. And so please join me in stating your affirmation. As I state mine, we are going to say that as a living expression of, and you're going to say your kin number and affirmation. And this is going to allow us to unify our creative essences, and operate in this collective harmony. And so, yes, join me in stating that, and really, like I said, really lock in on your affirmation and being that embodiment. And so, let's go. As a living expression of Kin 181, I am Kin 181, the Rare Crystal Dragon, and I dedicate in order to nurture, universalizing being. I seal the input of birth with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of space. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe Yo. All right, so yes, let's get into becoming and really, or being the living expression of our affirmation. And so we have the Destiny Oracle board to assist us as a tool to navigate in our frequency. So this Oracle board acts as a meditative tool, also as a compass. It helps us to sustain the flow of our cosmic synergy as multidimensional beings. It is a fifth dimensional template of our multidimensional self, which includes the Destiny Oracle for all 20 of the archetypes. And so let's take a closer look at it here. So here, as I've mentioned, you'll see the basic Destiny Oracle for the 20 archetypes. And I say it's basic because it shows you the main 4 archetypes for that particular for a particular archetype. So, for example, the white mirror archetype for that we're on today, the 4 basic archetypes that are a part of the Destiny Oracle would be the red dragon on the right, which sits in the physical body. On the left, we have the yellow star sitting in the mental body. And below, we have the blue knight sitting in the emotional body, also known as the hidden power. And so, right in the center, the white mirror actually represents the soul, or the soul focus. Like, it's the main thing, that you're really focusing on, or that we're being encouraged to focus on. And then the archetype that sits in the above position, that is the area of the spirit, which acts as a compass. And so when you're looking at the oracle board in itself, uh, you will see that it is blank for all of the 20 archetypes. And that is because the archetype that sits there is dependent on the galactic tone for the archetypes that is sitting in the center. So with us being on Kin 38, we have the white dog sitting in the position of the spirit guide. And so I am definitely excited and must give a shout out to Brother Aqil and say happy galactic return, because he is Kin 38. Also, my planetary body archetype, or kin, I'll say. And so definitely making sure that we send him some love. Thank you, Brother Aqil, for you showing up in your reflection and all that you do to show that you're dedicated to the mission. I definitely appreciate you. So it's definitely exciting to do the oracle reading today. I love being able to share these on plasmas where I know they, somebody that is that kin. So yeah, I'm excited today. All right, so let's go ahead and continue forward with the oracle reading. And let's see here. All right, so let's get closer or go into more detail about what the white crystal mirror is actually doing, or how we can connect to its purpose, or what the focus is for this plasma. So again, this is in the wave spell of um, accomplishment through self-generation. So the white crystal mirror shows up at this point for us to uh, unpretentiously refine the way that we're meditating. So that means that, as we are reflecting on showing up in who we are in our frequency, we're doing it in a way that we are allowing ourselves to, to truly be authentic and not go about it in a way of trying to show off or impress someone, or lead with some type of ego. We're really doing this from a genuine and grounded way. And so that is what the white aspect is encouraging us to do through this frequency. And so when we look at the archetype, or the soul and the solar seal, this is the power of endlessness that reflects order. And I actually like saying it's reflecting divine order, the sacred order of how the Most High is the most divine creator has created for things to be. So for example, we could even look at nature to uh, build up the visual and get into the mindset of what that divine order looks like. And so let me jump back up here to the breakdown here. And so through this refinement, we're refining our divine order, the way that we are reflecting it. And the crystal tone is the frequency, the vibration of how we're moving in this energy. So with the crystal tone, it's talking about being dedicated to cooperation, which is going to crystallize and universalize the frequency. And so by us being dedicated to refining the way that we reflect our divine order, not only is it going to be crystallized within us, once we do that, that frequency, or our, by us crystallizing our frequency, it then become universalized in a way that other people can experience. And I'll experience it, and I'll be sharing some about that in just a moment here. And so this is my remix version of the affirmation. which includes the wave spell and how the kin of the plasma is showing up for us in the Zocan calendar. And so it states, I dedicate my accomplishment in order to reflect my self-generation by crystallizing my order. I seal my self-regulated matrix of endlessness with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of heart. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. And as always, I want to encourage us to really, really, really feel into the affirmations as we're reading them, because it's going to bring our it's going to bring through the insight that we need to receive, uh, as far as how to connect with the kin of the plasma, or how the kin of the plasma is guiding us for that day or for that plasma. Okay, so yeah, definitely sit with the affirmation, allow yourself to feel into it and receive those insights. And so I'm going to share some of the insights that I received. And it was the first line I'll say the first thing that stood out was that first line about being dedicated to our accomplishments to reflect our self-generation. And so as I was sitting with this, what came to mind was for us to be devoted to what we have accomplished by honoring how we've grown and the progress that we've made. I can even speak for myself to say that sometimes, I'd be so busy, on the move and doing things that I don't take a moment to pause and really reflect on how much I've grown and, what I have accomplished. So it's really important that we do that because it helps us to stay inspired. It helps us to recognize that these are like trophies, or it's something sacred within us that's helping us to see it, or I'll say it helps us to reflect on them like as a mirror, or I'll say they are serving as a mirror to help us to reclaim our capacity to generate our own synergy. And what I mean by that is, looking at it in a standpoint of like, of what healing means. And it's not about like, us being broken or we lost something of ourselves. It's more about remembering that we've always been whole. That's one thing that I love about the moon, is that the moon go through different phases. Like even when we're looking at it in the sky, we'll see different parts of the moon. That doesn't mean the moon is broken, because at the end of the day, it's still a whole moon up there. So, this healing is actually that remembrance that we are whole. We're just going through different phases sometimes. So what would be very helpful for us to honor our growth is to, or in those moments where we feel like we may be drifting away from that, just take a moment to sit and reflect and gather those parts of you that you may have quote unquote forgotten, and allow this to allow yourself to even reflect on your destiny oracle. Connect with the different aspects of where they are sitting in your destiny oracle, because that is something that can help you return to that divine, or I'll say that can help your divine synergy come back into that order, help your energy to come back into divine order. And so through your reflections and through you putting forth the effort to reclaim that, it helps to restore that inner alignment so that you can remember and practice and, do all of the things necessary to stay crystallized within yourself. Okay, so that was one thing that stood out for me. I definitely have been reflecting on different ways that I can improve and refine myself in crystallizing my own order. And so the second part that stood out was crystallizing my divine order guided by the power of my heart. And so this part was like the real game changer. So it's talking about crystallizing the divine order within us by allowing our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies to all cooperate together as one stabilized and integrated system. Okay, so seeing how they are all connected to one another and how they help each other out is very, very important to being whole. Because we don't want to be all scattered about, mind in one place, body doing this, emotions over there. They all got to be all in alignment and working together. And so by us being loyal to letting our hearts guide us, that is what was going to help us to get through this process, through using our self-love, using that compassion, being loyal to our heart, being loyal to listening to our hearts, and allowing that compassion to show up in the way that we exchange love and interact with other people as well. Our heart, like, sometimes we be afraid. I'm gonna be real. Sometimes I gotta be real about it. Sometimes we be afraid to leave with our hearts because of different challenges or experiences we may have had in the past. However, when we return back to the self love and pouring into our nurturing ourselves in that way and getting back into that compassionate state, that is what's actually gonna help create that inner divine order and bring forth that stability. And so when we get our our energy inside of us stabilized, it's naturally going to be reflected through the way that we act, how we think about ourselves, our relationships, our environments, as well as the way that other people experience our presence. And so with that, I do have a one-line statement to uh, based on the focus for us for the white crystal mirror, which states, I am crystallizing my divine order by reflecting my divine synergy as my accomplishments. I am crystallizing divine order by reflecting my divine synergy as my accomplishments. You are crystallizing your divine order by reflecting your divine synergy as your accomplishment. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe Yo. And so with that, two additional questions that we can focus on within this oracle reading, or that you can use throughout this plasma, is one, how do you acknowledge and honor your accomplishments? Do you even acknowledge and honor them in the first place? That's a big one for me. I'm like, yeah, I need to do that a bit more often. I slow down a little bit. Let me honor those moments. And all right, so number two, how is your heart calling for you to nurture your divine synergy into that divine order? So that's talking about listening to your heart. How is your heart telling you to nurture your energy? What order is it showing you to show up as? Ashe. All right. So yeah, let's get into this oracle reading for us on this plasma. Remembering that the central frequency that we're focusing on is that crystal tone, which asks, how can I dedicate myself to all that lives? In order to dedicate ourselves to all that lives, we have to be dedicated to ourselves first, dedicated to our heart space, being willing to cooperate within ourselves. And so the Destiny Oracle for today is guiding us uh, through that process, where we're being guided by the white crystal dog. So as we're focusing on reflecting that divine order, we're letting our heart to guide us in crystallizing what we're loyal to. So as we're reflecting within our heart space, we get to recognize what we are actually loyal to. How are we loyal to reflecting, or what are we loyal to reflecting? Like, for example, I'm loyal to reflecting that that like the love frequency, like uh, how would I describe it? So it's not just like one particular type of love. I'm talking about like humanity, the love for humanity. Like I'm loyal to reflecting that. How can we be loyal to humanity, or how can humanity be more loving? So check in with yourself. Like, what are you loyal to reflecting through it from your heart space? What are you being called to show up as? What is your why? What is your reflection? What do you want to mirror in this world? Okay. And so by us holding that as our focus, letting our heart guide us through that, we also can look at the physical body, which is the red, we have the red crystal dragon, which is my, that's, you see, that got me. All right. So this sits here in a position to support us holding this focus. It's like the interface between our internal selves and our external world. So whatever we are nurturing within ourselves, that we are crystallizing within ourselves, is going to also be nurtured and crystallized what's showing up outside of us. And so it also works in the reverse. Whatever we're nurturing externally is something that is nurturing, it's nurturing something within us as well. It's a mirror. It's going to be reflected both ways. And so as we nurture ourselves, because that's the first step, and crystallize who we are showing up as, that is going to shift what we're experiencing and how we're perceiving our experiences on the external side. And that's where we'll start to nurture those external things into the reflections of us. That's one thing I love about the white mirror, is talk about how these mirrors are endless. Like, we can nurture anything outside of us just about, and it's a reflection of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So um, that is what's going to support us in showing up in that divine order as well. Every time I think about nurturing, I like to think about plants or children. Sometimes they require different things. So it's definitely important to keep that in mind about ourselves. Something that nurture us may be different than something that can nurture someone else. Okay. So just want to put that out there. So the next part that I want us to look at is the emotional body, where we have the blue lunar night. And the emotional body, this is the energy that's fueling us to hold our focus. So with the blue lunar night sitting here, this is encouraging us to look at our dreams, look at what our goals are, also reflect on the dreams that we have at night, reflect on our daydreams of the abundance that we are I don't want to say it, that is being shown to us through our intuition. And so, I just noticed a typo here. It's really important to think about, like, really think about what abundance is, because we could be abundant in anything. So I like to say our divine blessings. What are the things or experiences that will give us help us to be in a state of bliss? It's not always going to be something material. It could be something inside of us as well. So as we dream about what it's like to be blissful, being blissful in just existing, that's also going to create that abundance externally, because whatever we nurture within ourselves, we're going to nurture externally as well. And so we're being guided to stabilize our intuition. Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely excuse the typos here. But we're being encouraged to stabilize our intuition. So the more that we balance that and internalize it ourselves, that's what's going to bring that stability. It helps us to stay grounded and stand on point. Okay. And so, last but not least, on the left, the mental body, we have the yellow crystal star here. And this is the position where we are being encouraged to strengthen our mindset to bring forth the elegance and crystallize the art. So even though this mental body also represents the challenges, we also have to think of it as these challenges bringing forth the gift. It reminds me of, like, I forgot the quote, but basically, sometimes, we got to go through a challenge to appreciate the gifts that we received. And so when we go through this, the challenge of beautifying our reflection, it also helps us to stay loyal to it. So just think about all the work that you have put into the things that you have accomplished, and the beauty that came from it. That's what makes it more significant and heartfelt to accomplish those things. So, when we remind ourselves that those challenges can be beautiful as well, that also helps us to maintain and stay mentally strong in holding our focus to reflect our divine synergy. Okay. And so with that concludes there's one more thing I want to add in. So when we put all of these pieces and elements together, it helps us to crystallize it within ourselves. So then we're in a position to actually now release this new passion, joy, and this feeling of liberation within our lives. Because it's helping us to liberate the heart of our divine spirits. As we stay connected to our heart space and reflect that in all that we say, do, think, etc. That's us liberating the spirit within us. Okay, so now with that concludes the oracle reading for us on this plasma Kin 38. And Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. May that you all got some divine wisdom and some gems from it. And once again, happy galactic return to Brother Aqil Sharif, Kin 38. And much love and gratitude to all of you. And so with that, I send y'all my love in Lakesh Allah Kim. May that you enjoy your creation every single moment of now. Every single moment of now. I love y'all. Stay peace.